what I want to talk about is something very, 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 very serious, and that is the subject of friends. And like always with this new podcast, pretty much I don't know what I'm gonna title this podcast. I'm gonna just call it the Big Shirt Podcast, maybe the XO podcast. I don't know. It is what it is. In this podcast, if you guys haven't seen it before, I just talk about my life story, what I've come through. But I'm not just gonna ramble on about my life, because who cares about everything I went through, all the loss I suffered. What you should care about is what you can take away from listening to this podcast and watching this video. That's what matters the most. That's why I want to start this podcast. That's why I want to share my life story, so that the viewer, you watching, can learn something new and can benefit from my loss, so that I could turn my loss into something positive. And also I'll get paid, maybe, hopefully one day, when these videos go viral. You feel me? So anyway, you know what? I don't even want to make jokes, because this is actually very, very, very sad story, and very disappointing. And I'm going to be pretty much proving why there is no such thing as friends. And another thing too is that nobody, and I mean nobody, is ever too busy for you. And don't get me wrong, I don't know if I said this in the first episode, but I'm not the type of person to force my beliefs onto other people. I don't care. I'm more worried at my age right now, at this point in my life, I'm more worried about getting money and being on my grind. I don't care about other people. But, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, because, like, for example, you people that are out there watching this video right now and show support and always show positivity, I do care about you guys. So I guess I have to take back that statement. But, like, for example, if there's like an atheist saying something, some nonsense, I don't care, But like I said, I don't care to force my beliefs onto other people. But if there was one belief that I could force onto somebody, it would be that nobody is ever too busy for you. That would be the one thing. And I would feel comfortable forcing that onto somebody, because I know it will benefit them. If anybody ever tells you they're too busy for you, it's nonsense. So now, enough rambling, because right now I probably just look like a dork. You're probably like, okay, how do you know this? Why are you just saying it? It doesn't matter how many times you say it. It's not going to make me believe it. So now let me explain why, how I've come to that conclusion. So I'm going to share a bit of my life, and this is going to prove both things that I claimed, right? So here's what I'm going to prove. Number one, friends don't exist. There's no such thing as friends in this life. Number two, nobody's ever too busy for you. Those are two things that I'm going to prove by the end of this video. Now, in the first episode, I explained the death of my mother, my brother, and the incarceration of my father. In this video, so all that was about around me. Time frame was age 0 to 13 years old, because I believe I went up to 13 when my dad was released, but then I stopped it there. In this episode, I'm going to fast forward to 2021, going into 2022. And at this time, I'm 18 years old. Yeah, I'm just freshly 18 years old. So this is when I graduate high school. And when I graduate high school, I went straight into college. I went to Pasadena City College, graduated from Pasadena High School, did that. Now, going into high school, I had a female friend. I had a lady friend, who at the time, me being just a little boy, I think, like, damn, that's my boo, like, we're getting married, like. But nah, we were never anything more than friends. But she ended up pretty much talking to this other, or getting with this other dude who was, and hey, don't get me wrong. Like, for example, if they're watching this video, hey, you do you, that's cool. I don't care. Um, I mean, you're a lying ass bitch, but like, hey, that's just the truth. Like, I can't help it. I just speak the truth. But, nah, yeah, she got with this dude. Very weird. Look, I mean, even at this age, I hadn't hit my glow up yet. I was starting to, but I didn't really yet. But even then, like she ended up getting with like this shorter, paisano kind of type of dude, and he was even I'm pretty sure he's even shorter than her, so that's kind of weird. But yeah, strange. Everything's strange. Women are strange. Uh, but here's the thing: is that a lot of things. Episode one, right? I had never in my life have I ever shared those stories on a public level, like my mom dying, my brother dying, my father being incarcerated. I had never shared that on a public level. And at this point in time, when I was with this girl, whatever we were, whatever, um, she was one of the few people that I had trusted with that information. And so when she did that, that kind of hurt. Then around summertime, had two of my cousins, um, Jacob and Nicholas, and I feel comfortable saying their names because and I know he's gonna see this video, but hey, I don't have nothing negative to say. Um, I feel like I got stabbed in the back, and who cares? It's just a feeling. But at this point in time, I'm no longer friends with them because I feel like they kind of betrayed me, and I know, according to the book, that God hates person who spreads discord amongst brethren. So yeah, um, but yeah, Jacob, Nicholas, wish you guys nothing but the best of luck. And I mean that, but like I actually mean that, because even though you may not mean nothing to me now, at one point in time you did, and I cannot deny that. And I could never forget you. You're gone but never forgotten, for sure, because you were like brothers to me at one point. But they had those, when I tell you they are like brothers to me, and I won't get into specific details about what they did to me. It's whatever. There's a bigger problem we have to attack right here so that I could get my point across to you watching. To give you an example of how close we were, the older brother Jacob, who we were closer with, who was like of my age, I believe he's 4 days older than me, or no, I mean I'm 4 days older than him. His middle name is my first name because it was like after me, like they named him after me, his middle name. So, but other than that, I could never put into perspective that was like literally my brother. And yeah, but they did something where I felt like they had betrayed me, and they were no longer my friends at that point. Then I had one of my tias. For those of you who don't speak Spanish, that means auntie. One day woke up and decided to just start yelling at my dad and his girlfriend for whatever, God knows what. And damn, I forgot a major subject of this video. This is why I also forgot to mention that this is why I left Christianity. And yeah, wow, I forgot to mention why I left Christianity. Now, I'm not here to disprove Christianity or disrespect anybody's beliefs or religion. I would never do that. But yes, I'm also going to be talking about why I left Christianity. I'll edit that back into the beginning of the video, so forgive me. But the reason I just was reminded of it was because of my tia. And my tia was a very, 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 very hardcore Christian. So I looked. I apologize. It's just sometimes it's like I put it behind me and I try not to think about it. But it's like when I open up, when I go back to that place and I open it back up, it's like, wow. It's just, I don't know. Life is insane. Life is madness. Like, it's crazy. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But so I looked to her for spiritual guidance at times, and I didn't have any Christian friends. I was the only like Christian that I knew, and her. So I would look to her for spiritual guidance. So when she did that, I was like, huh, that's a weird. I don't trust you anymore. That's what you did was weird. Now, moving on is when I was became a part of a Bible study. Now, I want you guys to know that when I say I was a Christian, I do mean it. I quit smoking, quit drinking. This was all for 2 years. I was Christian for 2 years. Quit smoking, quit drinking, quit watching porn and masturbation. And what else did I not do? Cussing. Yeah, that's a big one too. Quit cussing and swearing and followed all the rules and did everything by the book. I was pretty solid, pretty solid. So now I am affiliated with a Bible study, and I'm in a group of people who, over time, I felt, or I thought, I guess, which now looking back at it in hindsight, I believe I was pretty delusional, but I had felt at one point that these people were like family to me, and I truly did love them. Come to find out now that the feeling was not mutual at all. And so I considered them friends, I considered them family, but I trusted them so much that I actually gave my testimony. Now, for you people who are unfamiliar with a testimony is, let's just say in church, right? You go up in front of a gang of people and you tell them your life story and how you came to the realization that Jesus Christ is real. Specifically in the Christian church, this is how a testimony would go, is how you would explain tell your whole life story and how you repented and how you came to the realization that so-called Jesus Christ, right, is real and he exists and he saved your life. That's the testimony I gave. Now with my tia, that girl, my two cousins, it always hurts so much because it was like, damn, you guys knew everything I've been through in my life, and you would still stab me in the back. That's kind of messed up, but okay. So now this is where the story gets juicy. So I'm going to that Bible study, whatever. I'm damn, it hurts. It honestly does to this day. As much as I like to say that it doesn't, it does. It does. But I'll give you an example. I'm from Pasadena, right? Oh, I live in Pasadena, and that Bible study is actually in the Ontario slash Pomona area. So those of you who are unfamiliar with, geographically where that is, first of all, it's in California, and Pasadena to Ontario is like a 30-minute drive, 30 miles, an hour, if with traffic. I would go there every Wednesday and Sunday for church and Bible study. Wednesday was Bible study, Sunday was church, of course. I was committed to them because I felt like I had finally found a family, and I felt like I finally could fit into something to some degree, which I was incorrect, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, with being incorrect, you know? Because if I wouldn't have found out that I'm incorrect, I would have never learned, I would have never grown as a person. But, anyways, doing that, New Year comes, let's go, cool, blah, whatever. Now it's January 10th of 2022, and I wake up at 5 a.m. to a lot of notifications on my phone. And as I wake, I get up, I look at these notifications, I'm like, what the fuck? Like something about my sister, something. I get, then I get a phone call. I had a few missed calls already, but then I get one as I'm looking at these messages. And it is somebody, I won't say who. And pretty much this is how it went, as if I was the other person on the phone, right? I pick up the phone. Hello? Other person talking to me on the phone. Hey, this is so and so. I was expecting, let's rewind, right? I was expecting to see my sister because she was in California. She moved to Tennessee, but she was in California at this very moment, or at that very moment, and I was expecting to see her. So now I pick up the phone. I'm like, hi, who's this? Hey, Vincent, this is so and so. Last night your sister was at a party. So last night your sister was at a party, and look, I don't even know why I'm crying right now. Let's see, like, so pretty much, I'm like, so this person tells me, so last night your sister was at a party, and we don't know what happened, but your sister was shot, and she's in the hospital right now. So I'll send you the information of the hospital so you could go see her. I'm like, okay, cool. Hang up. Now, obviously, as any sane person would, I started crying like a little bitch for I don't know how long. And, cause yeah, you know, I thought she was dead. You know, like I thought she was dead. No, like the fuck. Um, you know, she survived. It's just there's just a lot more that you guys don't know that I probably will never go public with. So it's just a lot for me to talk about. But you know, stories like this have to be heard. So, and if I have to risk crying like a little girl in front of a lot of people, then I'm okay with that. I'm willing to sacrifice crying in front of. I don't like to cry in front of anybody, but if that's something I have to sacrifice for you guys to learn something new, it's cool, you know. So honestly, I don't even know why the fuck I was about to cry right now. It's just, like I said, I don't feel like crying. I never do, but it's like when I actually talk about it and it starts to, like, you know, it just activates something. So it's just like, I don't know, like even though she's alive, just thinking back to that moment when I got that phone call was wild. So I'm looking like, all right, cool, whatever. I make a prayer, obviously, because I'm very, very spiritual at this time. And I say, God, Lord, just let my sister live, whatever, blah. I needed to verify there was a problem at the hospital or whatever. They kicked out the visitors that were there, and they're like, they need to be able to verify that I'm the brother by mere coincidence, right? Even though there's no such thing as coincidence as well, which I'll cover in another podcast. That ain't even the time for this because we already got enough going on here. But my birth certificate happens to be on the table on my desk, on top of my desk. At the time, I just barely turned 18. I don't know I don't know what the fuck. I don't know where the fuck to find my birth certificate. But at the time, it was there because I had to renew my passport. So I grabbed it. I'm like, all right, cool. I needed to be vaccinated also in order to get inside. I had just happened to be vaccinated, which I wasn't originally supposed to do, but I did it because I was going to school and they made me, whatever. Cool. I do that, go to the hospital. She lives, whatever. Okay. So I included all of that in my testimony. Not only that, but I don't know how deep you guys want this to go, to be honest. I don't know how much of this you guys are even ready for, to be completely honest, man. But look, as you can imagine, that messed me up in the head, going through that. And it's crazy because like I know people who have suffered way more, but that messed me up. And I remember as soon as that happened, I was instantly like, the insomnia hit and nightmares as well, and a lot more was happening too that I won't get into. But yeah, so I was suffering. I was suffering pretty bad, pretty bad. But let's just say these people knew my full head story, my full life story, head to toe, knew everything about me. I kept it completely 100% honest with them. And one day when I turned 19, so now fast forward into March, that's when I said, "Hey guys, I'm going to leave this Bible study. I'm going to be starting my own in Pasadena." And yeah, so farewell to you guys, and thank you for everything you've done for me. I remember as far as like the actual Bible study, like the people who would actually go consistently was there. For as far as the men or boys, I would never consider those people men except for maybe one of them. But as far as men, it was me, two, three, four other boys. Well, men. I'll just say men for lack of better words. One of them was named Andrew, which I'll only be mentioning his name because he's still a solid ass dude to this day. Like, I salute to that guy to this day, straight up. Another one was my actual cousin, and then the other two I'll just leave them anonymous because it's just not worth it to mention their names. Then the other were just they were the woman. Um, and yeah, so they knew I was going through all this at the time, blah, blah, blah. Still suffering, going into March, still suffering. They knew I was struggling. And by the time I had left that Bible study, it's just crazy because I remember I would always check in on them individually, not as a group. Individually, I would always check in on them. None of them ever really did the same thing for me. First problem that I should have noticed about that Bible study was it was led by a woman. Yeah, that's your first problem. And people might say like I'm being sexist for that or whatever, but I mean, you got to understand within this religion, according to its own book, that's not, like, biblically speaking, it shouldn't a woman should never be in a position of authority or leadership. So that's the only reason I say it like that. I don't mean it to be like disrespectful or derogatory. But yeah, that was the first red flag. But anyways, so they never really did the same for me, which I find quite interesting. And by the time I had left this Bible study, not one person ever reached out to me and asked me, "Hey, how you been? Hey, how's your new Bible study going? Hey, Vincent, I know your sister just got shot and everything you've been through, like your mom's dead and your dad was in prison practically your whole life. Your older brother passed away too. But how you been, man?" All it took was a simple 3 letters for any of them. I was one text away. 3 letters, HYB, for how you, standing for how you been. But no, not one of them could have done that. And except for one, actually, which was Andrew, the person that I named. So, Andrew, if you're watching this, I salute to you, my friend. And, yeah, we need to kick it again soon for sure. Not even my own cousin ever reached out to me and asked me how I have been. Later on down the line, he did, of course, like recently, a couple months ago, whatever, you know. But yeah, so I had expressed that to them verbally, saying, "Hey guys, you guys are like family to me, and I love you guys." And they all pretty much agreed. So I'm under the impression they feel the same way about me, but they don't. They don't. And a lot of this ties back to the last video, episode 1. I believe I said in that video along the lines of something: nobody cares about your problems. Nobody cares. Look, my mom died. My brother died. My dad was incarcerated for 13 years of my life. The most important 13 years, the first 13 years of my life. My sister's been shot. Nobody cares. Especially if you're a man, nobody cares. And those are the things you have to overcome as a man. And I'm okay with that. See, I wasn't in the past, but I've learned that that's just life. That's the game. You either play the game or you don't. And those are the cards I was dealt. So, back to the main subject of this episode. A couple of them end up reaching out to me eventually, months down the line, when I don't need it anymore, of course. And the Bible study I started out here was actually pretty successful. And it was good. I had a solid ass crew. That Bible study ended up falling apart because I left Christianity. And I left Christianity because I don't know how far in depth I want to go for this, because I know I've been rolling for a while. I've already been filming for a while. I don't want this to be too long. So I left Christianity. Number one, Jesus Christ was not his real name. It just wasn't. And you guys, a lot of you should do your research on that. Now, let's just say his name was Yeshua. I believe it's Yahweh. There's other beliefs out there. Now, there's other beliefs out there of what they believe it was translated to. But see, they have reached out. One of the guys had reached out to me on some very disrespectful stuff, being rude and whatever, telling me that, oh, well, it's Yeshua, but translated into English, no, you can't translate a name. A name stays the same throughout every language, because when you're named, it's they speak your name into existence. So, yeah. Then they'll say, oh, it doesn't matter what name he has. Don't worry about that. Huh. Okay, so it doesn't matter what we call God. Okay. Then they'll say another thing too was another deal breaker for me was the 10 commandments. One of those commandments is thou shalt not use the Lord's name in vain. And then a Christian will say, for example, the leader of that Bible study said, if you've ever said, oh my God, Jesus Christ, then you have used the Lord's name in vain. You broke one of the 10 commandments. First of all, God is not his name. That doesn't even make sense on its face. The word God is a title. That doesn't even make sense. That's common sense. You should know better than that. You're a grown-ass woman. Come on, dog. So, that doesn't make sense. On top of that, the 10 commandments in Christianity are almost idolized, which is another sin. They're almost idolized. There is not 10 commandments. There is 613, I believe, found in the Bible total. Everything he commands you to do is a commandment. There's not only 10. Anyways, that's out the way. Those were the deal breakers for me. Those are the ones that I know that are like really made me leave Christianity. Luckily for me, I can proudly say that I didn't leave Christianity just because I had a bad experience with other Christians. I left it because I truly my beliefs changed because I dug for the truth on my own. I didn't just take another person's word for it. As far as I know, they think I just left. As far as I know, they think that I left Christianity and I just lied to them about starting another Bible study and I just left. But whatever, I don't care. Those were the biggest deal breakers for me leaving Christianity. I don't want to go into the more specific ones, which are a bit more debatable and controversial. But those were the deal breakers for me. But God has a name and you're supposed to call on that name. And yes, it matters what his name is, you know? So, yeah. And the number one excuse used by all of these people after months and months, I'm going to say this, first of all, number one, first and foremost, not a single female of that crew ever reached out to me, ever. I've never spoken to any of them since. The boys did. But see, they reached out to me in kind of a weird way. One of them was being disrespectful. The other was like on jokes. He was a clown kind of type of kid, like always joking. My cousin was kind of the same way. Whatever, you know. So, but their number one excuse when they did eventually reach out to me, and this is even Andrew too, as much as I love the dude, even him too, he used this excuse. He said, hey, we've been busy. Really? Okay. Now, Andrew didn't use that excuse for himself. He actually used it on behalf of them. He said, hey, you know, because I told him to say, man, not a single person from that group has reached out to me and asked me how I've been. And I just gave him the same spiel that I'm giving you right now. So my cousin, right, he ended up reaching out to me later on. And he was like, same bullshit. I mean, look, I don't even blame the kid. He's a little kid, you know, but even though he's only a year younger than me, little kid, you know, and I'm not saying that to be, I'm not trying to be insulting. I'm just talking about his level of maturity and mind. Okay. But he's like, man, I've been busy, bro. Bullshit. Come on, dog. Other two guys, same thing, that they've been busy. Bullshit. Like I said, I'm one text away, 3 letters, HYB. And when the tables were turned, when my sister had just got shot, guess what? I was still going every fucking Wednesday and Sunday to drive out there to go to that church, check up on my people, say, hey, how are you doing? Are you good? Are you okay? How's your spiritual journey going? Come on, dog. These people don't care about you. They don't. You're given two people in this world that are supposed to care about you, your mom and your dad. And you better not go to your dad with your emotional problems. You better not. Because as a man, and I know a lot of these messages are mainly going to be directed towards men, I'm hoping that you women out there watching this can take away from it too. But for you men, the reason why, and look, this podcast isn't for atheists. I'm going to just say it straight up. This podcast is not for atheists. There's a reason why this world, this life was designed the way it's supposed to be. I'll give you an example. You're born a boy. Nobody's born a man. No woman can make a man. Only men make men. Tough times make men. Trauma makes men. You're born a boy. One day you have to grow up to become a man. Now there's some who deny that and try to run from that. Fuck them. Who cares? There's a reason life is designed the way that it is. This is how I know. This is why I know atheists are full of shit. Because when you look at life from a distance, you can tell it's been intelligently designed. None of this happened by coincidence. We didn't come from a big bang, that nothing came from fucking nothing, and over millions and millions of years that monkeys and blah blah blah, and we're here now. You take the life of a man. He's born a boy. He's given a mother and a father. The only person he can ever talk to about his emotions and go to emotional support for is his mother. Once she is gone, he can go to nobody. He must deal with it himself. Why is that? See, God doesn't just do things. And when I'm talking about God, I'm not talking about any God. I'm talking about the Most High. I'm talking about the one of the Bible, the one, the Creator, the one and only. Okay? I don't want to be mistaken. He designed it like that because people go to men with their problems. And a man must be strong enough to carry all that weight on his shoulders. He can't be running to somebody else with his own problems. He has to be strong enough to deal with other people's problems. And if you think that's just some type of coincidence, congratulations, man. What the fuck to say to you? So, I believe at this point in time, I've made my point with this video and I've been extra clear. If not, I would highly, highly appreciate it if you could let me know in the comment section where I was not clear or unclear, and I would be more than glad to elaborate. And if you're looking to debate, I wouldn't really be interested in debating, not in the comment section. But as far as maybe like a one-on-one, like in person, we film it, okay, I might be down for that. But then again, I pray, and I really mean this, that you guys take this advice, and that you learn something new from this. And to my Christian brothers out there watching this, no disrespect. I don't mean it with any disrespect. You guys, I see you guys like brothers. I see Muslims like brothers. So I hope that this isn't highly offensive. And I hope when it really comes down to it, when the enemy reveals himself, that we look at each other and we go, we're on the same side, So, yeah. Anyways, If there is anything in this video that you guys would like me to go more in detail, like why I left Christianity, why I believe it's wrong, or my life story, my philosophy, etc., leave it in the comment section. I greatly appreciate all you guys watching. I do apologize for having to cut it short. I just don't want these videos or these episodes to run on insanely long. Other than that, I could say nothing more, but God bless you guys watching. And have a good night. Good luck to you. There's no such thing as friends. And nobody is ever too busy for you. I salute to you watching, my friend, and stay strong. Always win.